Hello, everyone. This is Redmond's Football Report, February 2nd, 5th, 2021.
Hi, and we're back as always.
Yep, if you haven't watched this, my name is Redmond, and Martin French helping me to do these.
Yes, helping you, that's right. Yes, we're here
back.
Twice a week, every week. What days?
Tuesday and Friday. If you can watch it live, those are the days. And what time?
Very good question. 1800 hours Central European time. That's 6 in much of Western Europe. 5 in Britain and yes, that's right. 5 in Britain and Ireland. Midday in the east coast of the US and 9 a.m. on west coast US. And wherever you are, well, work out your own time. You'll know best for yourself. Our job is not to figure out what your time is. Times will probably change if and when we move back to the States, which should be in theory sometime in the end of July, beginning of August.
Yep, and that is when football is going to maybe rise because there'll be better weather.
Yes, well, I'm hoping there'll be better weather before that.
And COVID-19 cases down.
Hopefully so. Well, first things first, we're going to do what we always do, which is look at results. Stop fiddling. And results for the week are as follows. And I didn't put in Fergus's guesses because I just didn't have time. But Al Jazeera went ahead and won quite comprehensively against Al Nasser in the UAE. Democratic Republic of Congo lost to Cameroon, which puts Cameroon in the semi-finals. We'll be talking about the semi-finals of the African Nations Championship shortly. Neither of us had that one guessed. Palmeiras beat Santos, so I take the point on you there. In the Copa Libertadores final, they have to be in Qatar in literally a few days. According to the internet or FOTMob, it looks like they're meant to be playing a game against Botafogo first, but I'm hoping for their sake they're not. Barcelona women won, not quite as comprehensively as I thought, not quite as gently as Redmond thought, but they beat Real Madrid, and they are now top.
And Fergus thought it would be an 8-3.
Which wasn't a million miles away.
We think Fergus should get back in this show.
It would be nice if he could make it. If he can't, he can't, but that's...
Because he's so activated for the scores. We don't want exactly scores. We want crazy scores.
Well, we'll be talking about a crazy score later. Moving on down, the El Salvadoran final was won by Aguila, who beat Alianza, and if I'm not mistaken, Aguila are now up to 15 league titles. Sporting Club, in the 92nd of 95 minutes, beat Benfica 1-0 in...
and I got the score right.
You did get the score right. And
so
now
we're drawing.
Now they're 9 points clear at the top. Well, no, actually, you got Alianza to win that one, Redmond, so I've actually still got a point ahead of you. So Sporting Club top by 9 points from Benfica, and I think it's 4 or 6 points from Porto. I'm not too sure. Best chance they've had in years. That game still didn't happen. Morocco went on to beat Zambia 3-1, so we're both right accurate on that score. Result-wise.
I just needed to give a goal for Zambia, and I'll get it exact.
Yes.
Well, that game, you didn't actually get it right. You have 2-0.
Yeah, they won by 2 goals?
No, they won by
3 goals to 1, which would be 3 minus 1.
Is...
Thank you. Juventus won, as I said, 2-0 against Sampdoria, while West Ham felt the wrath of a resurgent Liverpool, which was a 3-1 win, as opposed to our 1-0 and 2-0. And finally, Barcelona back in form against Athletic Club, winning 2-1, which is, I suppose, par for the course there. We'll be talking about a lot of these clubs shortly. Before we carry on, we're going to talk about the game of the week.
Yep.
Sorry about that delay. The game of the week, as far as I was concerned this week, was a women's game taking place in the Coppa Italia Femminina between Empoli, who were the home side, and Juventus.
So how was the game like?
So Empoli went a goal up early on.
Easy.
Juventus come back, but Empoli get score again to have a 2-1 lead at half time. but the scoring wasn't finished. It went on to have Empoli leading, I think, 3-1. Then it was 3-2, 3-3. Empoli got another goal about 79 minutes, I think it was, to go 4-3 up. I think it was 4-3 up they were.
And then
Juventus got another one in the 80th, 81st, somewhere along there. I'm not too sure on times. He's the man for times. And in the 87th minute, Cristina Girelli scores the 5th goal of a game in which I think there were 9 different scorers, and Juventus win 5-4. Incredible game. Wish I'd known about it in time to A, promote it, and B, watch it.
I think you were expecting Empoli to win, but Juventus just takes that lead.
Well, when they're ahead so many times.
Yeah.
But when you're playing against a team with the quality of their players,
yes.
You're going to expect that. I think Juventus started with maybe 5 or 6 of their typical first 11 not playing. They did have the core of Gama and Bonansea, and I can't remember who else.
Those are some good
but
players.
They had the players to bring on. So
yeah, and then they could smash away Empoli, but they scored a lot of goals, so they weren't able to.
So Redmond, what do you want to report on football wise this week?
Well, I want to tell you both. Actually racing. About 2 things. About Racing Louisville and Lou City are actually on their training. You might wonder what those teams are. They're teams in America, and they're my favorite teams. That's my favorite women's team, Racing, and my favorite men's team. My second favorite is Lou City.
Oh, who's your favorite?
Juventus, of course.
Oh, okay. Well, what happened to Waterford? Always support your local teams first and foremost. Be fans of whoever, and we're fans of many different teams in this household.
And we've been
always
to
remember
many
your local team is your local team. Right. Anything else you want to report on?
Well, I want to say talk about Asian football is actually really good football.
Yes, it is.
It is. It's great football.
Anything else you want to say about Asian football?
You might be wondering how you're trying to convince me. Well, watch an Iran game, and you'll see some good scores, and maybe one, because these teams in Iran are so good.
Yes, there you have it. So we're going to go on to our previews. The week that is in it, we're going to start with the big stuff first. The FIFA Club World Cup takes place in Al Rayyan in Qatar this week and next. Please keep the hands quiet so it's not as annoying. And we start off with the 2 quarterfinals to play off to get into the semi-finals. That's Tigres or UANL from Mexico, winners of the CONCACAF Champions League, against Ulsan Hyundai, who are from Korea and winners of the Asian Champions League. Meanwhile, Al Duhail, who are basically the they're the host team, although they don't play in Al Rayyan, are playing against Al Ahly, who are the Egyptian team who won Africa's Champions League. So, looking at Tigres first, this is the best chance of a final appearance for either of these sides. The winners play Palmeiras, who have literally only just won the Copa Libertadores and have to travel thousands of miles to get to the game. And potentially, they may be playing Botafogo during the week, so God knows how that can in any way benefit them. These are the... Tigres have to travel approximately 14,100 kilometers to get to this game, whereas Ulsan only have to travel 7,500. They're in this confederation. They have to play the teams further west again than them. Tigres are the big favourites. You would expect that. Mexican teams are always going to be expected to do well, but in the past they have not necessarily done so well in the World Club Championships. Meanwhile, looking at the other game, it's kind of like, could you please stop shaking literally everything? Let's move you in. Stand up. Oh, God, and he pulled everything off the seat. All the things that are put there to make it easier for you to sit. Sit. All the messing. Oh God, don't climb, just sit. Please just sit. Ladies and gentlemen, live TV. Right. In the other game, Al Duhail play Al Ahly, and it's kind of like an Arab World Cup final, to be honest. They're the Western Arab Federation of Football or something like that. The Western Arab Football Association hasn't really been as active recently as they had. Focus on the screen, because we want to hear from you in a minute. Al Duhail got there by a walkover over Auckland, whereas Al Ahly won, obviously, the African Champions League. They're the two closest teams located to each other within this competition at 2,063 kilometres from city to city. The next nearest two teams are Al Ahly and Munich, which is 2,600 kilometres away from each other. Al Duhail went out in the recent Asian Champions League group stages, or the ones in the run-up to this. So in theory, they could have qualified, but they didn't. But they are the reigning champions, I believe. They have among their squad, they have 6 current Qatari internationals, as well as Mehid Benassia, formerly of Juventus, and many other good teams. Meanwhile, the Pharaohs have 6 players coming from Al Ahly. Al Ahly are probably the world's greatest team in terms of winning international tournaments. Let's have a look. Redmond, what are your thoughts on these two games? Well, we're talking about Al Ahly Tigres against Ulsan Hyundai.
I'm going to stay with my score. Tigres is a really good team.
Okay, and nobody knows what your score is.
It is 2-0 to Tigres.
Okay. Meanwhile, I'm inclined to plumb for Ulsan Hyundai. The North American teams tend not to produce when they get to the World Club Championship, in my opinion, or not produce as well as they'd be expected. I think a plucky Ulsan team are going to win 2-1. Looking at Al Duhail against Al Ahly, what's your expectation, Redmond?
1-0.
That's not what you have.
1-1.
1-1 earlier is what you're guessing. I'm thinking it may go Al Ahly's way 2-0. Moving on to Africa now for another couple of, in this case, semi-finals of a major international tournament. We're getting to the business side of the African Nations Championship. The two semi-finals today taking place on... What day are they taking place on? Let me find them on the computer. They're taking place on the 3rd on the afternoon, evening, depending on where you are. Keep your fingers to yourself. They're taking place tomorrow, 3rd of February. It's Mali against Guinea and Morocco against Cameroon. I'm the one who picked Mali-Guinea. It's clearly not as big a game, but these are two group-topping teams. Mali were in the group with Cameroon and got through that. Guinea within their own group. Mali should be the stronger of the two teams, in my opinion. Silly odd fact, the flags are basically the same as each other, only reversed. In the case of Mali, going from flagpole to edge, it's green, yellow and red. In the case of Guinea, it's red, yellow and green. And here's a particularly odd fact and absolutely useless for football. Every team Mali has met so far has had the red, the green and the yellow, while Guinea has met no team with all 3 colours. I know, scintillating stuff here. The other game, the late game, I think, is the favourites against the hosts. Morocco play Cameroon. Cameroon surprisingly knocked out Democratic Republic of Congo, while Morocco keep on walking on the way. Morocco, so far, have 9 goals scored compared to Cameroon's 4. The last 2 games between these two teams each went to the home side. But you have to ask, are Cameroon really the home side in this tournament? They haven't played like it, but now's the time to see it. They got past the Democratic Republic of Congo. Who knows? Redmond, what is your take on Mali against Guinea?
Well, Mali has great firepower. I haven't really heard about Guinea till February, and this February. So Mali gets in a 2-0.
2-0, okay. Guinea have done well on the scoring front, but I think Mali have too much for them. I'm going with the 2-1 win to Mali. Redmond, in the case of not Tigres, we've already done that one. Morocco against Cameroon. What did you think?
Well, I think it's going to be two brilliant teams, and I think it's just going for a 1-1.
You think a 1-1 draw? I'm thinking 1-1 draw as well. I fancy Morocco to scrape through maybe an extra time, or as I've put down here, penalties. So, we'll go north now to... the final of that, by the way, is taking place on Sunday, so we'll be all about that final before on Friday's show. Moving north to Europe, and we are going to look in on I think it's not the quarterfinals, it's the last 16 of the DFB Pokal, the German Cup. And specifically, I want to have a look at the game also on Wednesday between Stuttgart and Borussia Moenchengladbach. This is 10th plays 7th. This has been a surprisingly good year for Stuttgart. They'd been relegated back and forth for a while, but they're seemingly solid at 10th. BMG, even though they're in 7th, they're actually fairly secure in the 7th. They're definitely challenging still for the Champions League. They're far from out of that, but they're only a few points behind. The title looks to be out of touch for almost all, but maybe the top two. But you never know. Except it's Bayern, so we do know. But Borussia Mönchengladbach, great chance of getting into the doing okay in the Champions League places, and they haven't won very much. They haven't won a league since the 1970s, and they haven't won a cup since 1994. Stuttgart has won both the cup and the league since then. In fact, it's only about 13-14 years since Stuttgart won the Bundesliga. So
13 to 14 years. That's actually not a long time.
In terms of football, not particularly. So, Redmond, who do you think is going to win this big club cup clash between Stuttgart and Borussia Mönchengladbach?
Borussia Mönchengladbach's a great team, and I think they've gotten to the Champions League. So Stuttgart tries to stay solid, but they just lose against
About a team. Okay, 2-1 is your guess. I'm plumbing for a 1-1 I don't know if it's going to extra time or a replay or what. But this is the kind of game where a team like Stuttgart can really pick it up, and Borussia Mönchengladbach might be glad of a break. That's my take. We'll look at Redmond's selections now. And this week they are his favourite teams. Granada played Barcelona in the Copa del Rey. We have Internazionale Milan play Juventus in the semi-finals of the Coppa Italia. And then Liverpool play Brighton in the English League. Some background. Barcelona, Granada. Granada are 8th. Barcelona are now 2nd, despite not playing well and everybody mocking them for being so bad. They're still above Real Madrid, a long way behind Atletico. But there's still plenty to play in the season. Granada have been having a pretty good season. I think they're up 8th is a pretty decent showing for them. They're still in with a good chance. Could you sit properly and stop sliding onto me so I can use my elbows? They have a good chance of qualifying for Europe, so they're happy. Barcelona's injuries are starting to ease off. Between ourselves, I would have preferred to talk about Betis and Athletic Bilbao, which is also taking place this week in the quarterfinals. I think that's going to be a very good game, so do tune in if you get a chance. Redmond, Granada, Barcelona, what do you think?
Well, Granada's 8th placed, and the Malta King's been really big, so I don't. If there was no mockings, I would go for 4-0, but I'm staying with my 3-1.
3-1 to
Barcelona.
There we go. Shocker. Boyd tips team he likes. Also, shocker. Boyd tips team that's actually quantifiably much better. I'm thinking it'll be 2-1 to Barcelona. Their injuries are off. Messi seems to be playing a bit better. They all seem to be playing a bit better. This could be a charge that could end up with them winning up to potentially 3 major trophies. It looked like they were dead and buried 3 weeks ago. So that's 2-1 Barcelona is my tip. Get your feet off me. And could you sit in your seat and not be sitting on me? Sit in your seat. There we go. That would be easier for me. Inter Milan against Juventus. We have second in the Italian table playing fourth, but this is the Coppa Italia. It's a two-legged affair. So, we're having actually 4 games in 2020 before the end of the season. We had the defeat already for Juventus 2-0 in Milan in the San Siro. But we have seen big differences with Juventus still since. Will Pirlo take it seriously? I think he probably will because it's Inter. It's going to be a big one either way. It's always a big one when it's the Derby d'Italia. Redmond, what's your thoughts on Inter against Juve?
I think it's going to be 1-1.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be much to separate them. I think it'll be either 0-0 or 1-1.
I would go 1-0 after Juventus didn't have their blip against Inter.
Would you? You'd reckon they'd be certain. Yeah. Well, moving on down, we got Liverpool against Brighton. This is 3rd against 17th in the English League table. Sit in your seat, mister. Liverpool are 3 points behind Man City, who do have a game in hand. Brighton, meanwhile, are 7 points away from danger. So there's a little bit of freedom there, especially after their win against Tottenham at the weekend. Both these teams have beaten Tottenham in recent games. Liverpool are still missing about 8 players. 8 players who could basically walk on to all bar maybe 2 or 3 teams' first team in the English League. Again, we're looking at a Liverpool team who a week ago seemed, or 2 weeks ago seemed beaten. They look a lot better now, but that's football, isn't it? Yep. Brighton, meanwhile, have won 3 of their last 4. Or if you and they drew the other one. Or if you want to look further back, they've won 3 of their last 14. So Brighton is coming into form. Could be an interesting game. Redmond, what do you think is going to happen in this game?
Well, Brighton and Liverpool are they're 2 good teams, and I think it's 1-0 to Liverpool.
Very tight defensively minded game from both sides. I see. I'm going to go 3-1 Liverpool because even if they're missing Mane, which they are for this game, oh my God, look at all those other players. I mean, they could do with having Jota back, but we'll see what happens there. Staying in Europe, but moving on to the women, we're looking at Levante against Barcelona. Yes, we're talking about Barcelona women 2 games in a row. But this is again because of Real's defeat. Levante are now second in the league. Barcelona have won 13 games in a row. Barcelona have 2 points and 3 games in hand on Levante. They have goal difference for Barcelona is 70. Levante's is the best in the league after that at 21. They're the second best defenders outside of Barcelona, and they're the best scorers outside of Barcelona. But then you look at Barcelona, where their recent signing, Asisat Oshola from Nigeria, has 13 goals in the league already this season in 13 games. I don't know if she played all 13 or not, but she's 13 goals. She's got 44 goals in 40 games already for Barcelona. I will be smacked if I don't mention that she used to play for Arsenal. There you go, Brian. And she used to play for Liverpool. There you go, Redmond. What's your thoughts on this game? What do you think the score is going to be?
1-6.
6-1 to Barcelona.
Yeah, because they're getting a girl who scored 13 goals in the season, and I think Levante is going to get smashed.
Quite possibly. I'm thinking 4-1 because they have a good defensive record, but against this Barcelona team, it's hard to see anybody. Please stop tapping the desk, okay? People hear that and it's annoying. We'll move over to Asia now, and we are going, as we often do, to Iran, where Sanat Naft play Foolad. Sanat Naft are second currently, while Foolad are fourth. Sanat Naft only 1 point behind Esteghlal, while Foolad are 3 points behind Sanat Naft. Based respectively in the cities of Abadan and Havaz. Apologies for the pronunciation. This is the closest thing to a local derby that Sanat Naft can have. They're the most distant team from everybody else. being right down at the border with Iraq, Kuwait, down that neck of the woods anyway, down towards the mouth of the head of the Persian Gulf. Both of these teams have been pretty mediocre lately, but this has been so far a very good season for Sanat Naft. This is their best chance. While Foolad have won the league twice, Sanat Naft have never done better than 7th before this. So Foolad have won twice. I think they've done fairly well. But might this be Sanat Naft's season for a really good run in the league? Who knows? Redmond, your thoughts?
Well, Sanat Naft, I think, can actually do this. I think they can actually do this with a 2-0 win.
Okay, well, I'm plumbing for a draw, 1-1, score draw. It's tight in Iran, generally, when any teams play. I don't see big blowouts too often when I'm looking at the scores or the games. Moving on to the Americas, and we'll start with South America, where there is a massive local game going on in Montevideo. Penarol against Nacional. Penarol are the most have more clubs named for them than any other team in the world. I think there's like 40 teams that are called Penarol. They're both the big teams. Between them, they've won the league every year, bar 4 since 1991. Danubio won 3 of them, and Defensor Sporting won at once. It's early in the season so far, but after 3 games in, Penarol are 8th, Penarol are 8th, and Nacional are 4th, but that's with 4 points and 5 points respectively. So it's most likely going to come down to these two. We wait with bated breath to see. Redmond, your thoughts?
I think it's going to be a good 1-1 game.
1-1, you think?
Mm-hmm.
Well, because I have a liking for them rather than the others, I'm going to give Penarol a 2-1 win over Nacional. Yes, Redmond.
I'm just wanting to tell you, boys and girls, you can comment down below what scores would you like. Yeah, comments can go anywhere. Mm-hmm. And if you want to do some commenting, you can do it. So, comments down below what you think the score will be.
Yes, always welcome to comment, and you can do that on the non-live video. I do check the comments the whole time, and I respond to every one of them. Not that there have been many, you can comment and like, maybe even subscribe.
And don't forget to hit that bell, so you'll know every time when we upload another video.
Yes. Moving north, we've looked at almost all. We've touched on most of the world at this point. Far too heavily on Europe, in my opinion. But that CONCACAF's going to get that when the 2 Louisville teams start playing. We're going to look at CONCACAF, and we're going to look at the final of the CONCACAF Cup. The CONCACAF League. It's between Alajuelense and Deportivo Saprissa. Again, awful pronunciation. Please comment and tell me how to do this properly. This is the 4th CONCACAF League final, and it is the first all Costa Rican final. This is the first time there's been no Honduran team in the final. Costa Rican teams have been in the final each time, and Saprissa won it last year. Herediano won it another time. I can't remember the other team that won it, as well as Olimpia of Honduras. Saprissa have been 3 times CONCACAF Champions League winners, and Alajuelense have been that twice. Interesting thing between these 2 teams: neither side has won the game between these 2 teams. Neither side has won a home tie of this since October 2018. It's all been draws or away wins. This is a big one. This is a good one to end our week discussion on. This is taking place at 4 hours CET. That's 4 in the morning in Central Europe on Thursday. So really, if you start watching at 11 o'clock, if you can find a feed of Levante Barcelona, you have a whole raft of games going on from 11 CET through to 4 CET the following day that are high quality, I think, or at least I think are interesting.
And if you can get to any of those games, we're going to be so happy for you.
No, we aren't. Stay home. COVID.
Yeah, but
I'm not expecting there's too many.
on TV.
Get to watch any of them. Yes, that would be a good idea if you can.
We would be so happy for you.
Who do you think is going to win this one, Redmond?
Well, I think it's actually going to be the first one since 2018.
First home win since 2018. Ooh.
Yeah, and it's going to be what is that?
Alajuelense.
2 to
Deportivo Saprissa.
1.
Again, my pronunciation may be awful, but I'm reckoning that Saprissa are going to win 2-1. So
and comments down below.
Yes, do comment down below. So let's have a look at all these listed. These are our previews for the week. This is who we think is going to do what to whom. So again, we're always keen to hear what your thoughts are. Please don't be shy to leave comments. Tell us what your estimates are.
Games you would like us to talk about.
Oh yeah, no, I'm happy to make a feature of whatever your local team is or whatever your favorite team is at some point.
And what color should we put, Daddy?
What do you mean, what color?
Yeah, what color? Maybe purple?
What are you talking about by purple? Oh, for somebody else's? No, I use the purple. No, write down your predictions down below and we'll see who wins. And we'll talk about your predictions if you've got them on this.
And after you give down your predictions, tell us what color you want. And
No, we won't get their predictions in time for Friday's show because I don't know what games we're going to cover on Friday's show. We'd like to know though what they think will happen in these games if they can. If they can.
If you can,
don't cheat. I'll see the date and time that you commented. Anyway, we've gone way over. Do you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Bye everyone on Redmond's Football Report.
We'll talk to you on what day we talk?
Friday.
Friday.
Bye.
See you then. Bye.